Hi, everybody. It's Grant. I'm here to briefly share with you guys a little bit about my digital environment that I do, for my students, for my classes. So where we're at here is just one of the Google Classrooms for me last year for my American Studies class. This is one that I co-teach with an English teacher, Carrie Posey. And as you can see, one of the things I'll definitely suggest to people is to number or do some sort of naming convention for your post. All I did last year was just number the assignments are going to go into Home Access Center. And then in Home Access Center, I titled them accordingly, the exact same thing, number 032 or whatever it might be. One thing I'm going to change for next year is I'm going to number everything. I'm going to number every post, even the exit slips or just the announcement post, things like that. That's the way it's easy to find. So if a kid needs to find research docs, they know where to look for it rather than just numbering the assignments, because sometimes you can get, to scroll through, it takes a little while and kids have to know what to look for. Parents need to know what to look for too. So that'll definitely be one thing I would change next time to make it easier. As you can kind of tell, we've done some naming conventions for this class for you guys as participants as well. We'll talk more about the functionality of Google Classroom and the things you can do with creating questions or assignments, announcements, and how you can utilize the versatility of each of these different options to meet the needs of what you need to do in class or out of class with your students. I'm going to shoot on over here to the About section right now. Got a little description of the course, all that kind of good stuff. They've got the calendar, all those sort of things. Now, one thing that most kids don't realize is this folder is not going to do much good for them. But what I've done down here is I've attached, only just 3 things to this post, but that's going to be pretty all-encompassing for the rest of what we got going on. And one of the things that I'm a big believer of is Classroom is great, but it doesn't allow you to sort things other than just all in the stream. And yes, you can bump things to the top in the stream, and things can get out of order. But let's say a kid just needs to find a study guide, right, for Unit 1 or Unit 5 or whatever it might be. So what I did is I just made one big Google Drive folder for each of my classes, and then underneath I made separate subfolders for each. Then for the overarching big folder, this American Studies 2015-2016 folder, I made that view only. Then anything else within this is view only. So only my co-teacher and I would have access to edit it. Anybody else with the link can then view it. So if you wanted to go in and find, a study guide for Unit 1, all you have to do is open up the folder, realize, all right, am I looking for an English file or a history file? Okay, I'll look in the history specific folder, and I'll find that study guide in here. Okay, and so that's one thing that I did to help students if they don't want to scroll through the stream in Classroom. They know that this is a place that's also got things organized within it. You'll notice down here, this is going to come into play later too, because that's another one of the things that I've attached that I posted a link to the syllabus or attached the syllabus, but then also this link takes us to my class website. And one of the things I realized too is when I used to do Google Sites, I felt like I was putting in more work than students were actually looking at it. And so I realized once that I could type things once and then everything would update and edit because Google saves automatically, obviously. And you can embed some of your Google Docs into your Google site. And so one thing I do every day is we always have class slides, just as kind of some, class logistics sort of stuff. And so we've got our trivia questions, we've got our assignment rundown. And then the second slide is always going to be, or one of the next slides is always going to be like our daily agendas and our learning targets and things like that. And so I tell parents to check out this Google site because they can see, just go to the lead slide. This is updated on a daily basis. And so they'll always see, all right, what is the most recent and most updated posts of, what assignments are due when. If a kid is absent, they can scroll through and maybe they missed a couple days, they can look and see what the agendas were and the learning goals and things that they need to take care of. And they can then look at this and see other slides that we use within, those given days while they might have missed. And so they can catch up on the stuff that's there. That this way it's made once, parents can see it, students can see it, and this is just something I always use to start my day in class, going over, all right, what's due, what are your responsibilities, and what are we going to be accomplishing in our 47 minutes today. Another thing that I posted here, so this link takes us straight to the same folder here, which is another avenue for parents and teachers or parents and students to be able to check out these different folders and access any sort of file that they might need for that class. Over here is I embedded the calendar from the Google Classroom. So obviously for June, it's not going to look like much. But this is a nice little thing too, where the kids can then click over here and then, so maybe we're just looking at, a question, oh, I missed this day, or here's something I have to do. And it's something they can catch up on and figure out what needs to happen, or if there's an assignment, right? Then it gives them the instructions. These are the exact same instructions that are posted within Google Classroom, so they can see what they need to be accomplishing there. And then further down here in the site, I've also just posted this syllabus. So these are a couple things. This calendar and these slides, I don't have to go into Google Sites to change these at all. If I edit these, on a daily basis, it'll be edited live on the sites. It's just going to transfer exactly what I do. And then anytime I post anything new in Google Classroom, it gets updated on this calendar automatically without me ever having to log into Google Sites. Pretty much all I do is at the beginning of the year, I just put new slides, new calendar in, and then leave the architecture for all my different classes that I teach the same. And then it just updates automatically for me. And I don't ever have to go back to Google Sites, but it looks like it's being updated on a daily basis too. One other thing, as we wait for Google to think through things here, I'll show you my homepage too. And this is just something that is like a bio page where at the start of every course or semester, I write my students a letter, so they get to know me a little bit better. I just post that letter up here. Kind of talk about my past, so parents can get to know me a little better. Students can get to know me a little better. Get some pictures of my little guy. I got to update this of my new son Cole, so he's on there, and then all the basic contact info too. One other thing, just because I do teach governments, and one of the things we do a lot of is being on top of current events. I've made a useful links page, so they've got a bunch of stuff for news and current events, about voting, about the government, about other type of websites that we use on a regular basis here too. So just other stuff that I include in this digital environment. One thing I forgot to add, if we go back to Google Classroom, so with the idea about numbering assignments, here's why I do that. And this is a tip I picked up from Alice Keeler. If you're not following her on Twitter, you've got to follow at Alice Keeler. So if you're looking at this, in Drive, if you go to the classroom, Drive will alphabetize things for you. So this way, now things are chronological. That I've got, if I go to assignment 001 or 005 or whatever it might be, now it's going to be here in order versus, if it might be whatever it starts with an A, whatever starts with a Z, now it's all here in the correct order. And so that's why I alphabetize the assignments. But like I said, I'm going to try to alphabetize every single post next year. So guys, that's it. That's my digital environment. That's a little look inside my Google Classroom and my Google site. Hope you like it and hope you got some good ideas. Let me know if you got any questions.